Do you have a need for speed? Are you perhaps the sort of person who unironically enjoys the ice levels in video games? Speedrunning something you enjoy, perhaps? If any of that sounds up your alley, I have the perfect character for you. How yinz doing? I'm Ian, and this is the Streets of Rogue character guide to the Courier.
You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene. From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
The Courier is acquired from the Character Pack DLC, meaning unlike the Fallout games, getting shot isn't mandatory to get into this profession, just a down payment. As for your backstory, it reads, in a world where teleportation is a thing, why would anyone need a courier to deliver packages by hand? Simple. Sometimes items can shift around in weird ways during teleportation. Not like the fly or anything like that, more along the lines of gravy from your brisket spilling all over your fries. If you want poutine, you'll have your order poutine. As for your starting attributes, you start with an average of 2 in everything except for speed, which is set to roller skates, which is one of your starting traits. You know how when you're on ice you can build up crazy speed, but steering gets a little harder? Well, this trait makes that a 24/7 thing unless you're swimming in water. The speeds you build up with this trait can sometimes be very useful in self-defense, since you can often find yourself going at such high speeds that enemies don't have time to acknowledge that you're even in front of them before you've already rushed past them. Your only other starting trait is called Graceful. This makes it so that you can't set off traps like the bear traps that cannibals set up all over the parks or the laser tripwires you'll find inside buildings. Just be careful around these traps if you start a fight near them, because while you're not going to be able to set them off, the NPCs you're fighting can be, and you're not immune to their effects. Thankfully, however, if you ever find yourself critically low on health, you'll find yourself whisked away to safety via the quick escape teleporter in your starting inventory, which teleports you somewhere else on the floor randomly if your HP ever drops below 15. You also start with a walkie-talkie in your starting inventory, which allows you to effectively impersonate a police officer and call other cops in the area to attack an NPC of your choosing. Just make sure that the cops can't see you use this thing because it's illegal and the punishment is death. Thankfully, voice recognition doesn't appear to be a thing in this game whatsoever, so after you've used this item, you don't need to worry about the cops coming after you. The last item in your starting inventory is the delivery app. Aside from hogging up space in your inventory, the only practical use this item serves is to allow you to initiate your big quest, something we'll get into now. Your big quest, much like the work I do on this channel, is called side hustling. In this quest, which is started by using the delivery app in your starting inventory, you must deliver packages to NPCs marked with orange arrows over their head without teleporting or taking too much damage. If you fail to do these things, you will end up having the package becoming shook up, which will result in you getting no money nor mission progress received from the delivery itself. Regardless if you did this correctly or not, once you have delivered the package, you must return to the ATM and then pick up another package, and if you didn't get it shook up, some money. If you can deliver 3 packages successfully without running out of time, you'll end up getting some bonus XP, but you should do more if possible in order to create a buffer zone so that you don't have to worry about failing this quest should something happen on the later floors making it impossible, like a zombie outbreak. Please do remember that there is a time limit on how long you can take to deliver these packages, and while taking damage or teleporting will shake up the packages, crashing into walls at Mach 5 won't. Thankfully, with every successful delivery, you get some bonus time, meaning that as long as you're quick, you can actually end up having more than enough time to complete this quest with relative ease. Just please keep in mind that there's no such thing as rollover time when it comes to this quest. You don't end up finishing a floor with 20 seconds to spare and then have an extra 20 seconds on the next floor. It doesn't matter if you finish this quest on a given floor because of running out of time or because you are able to complete every single delivery successfully. Once this quest is completed, any time you had left on the clock is effectively lost. If you manage to complete 4 deliveries correctly on a given floor, you'll get some bonus XP. And I recommend doing this as quickly as possible on each and every floor, since you never know when something will blow up the ATM or a disaster will result in all the NPCs getting killed. Interestingly, since any NPC you deliver to, as well as their roommates, will become friendly with you if you ever manage to deliver their package successfully, this is one of the best quests to have in terms of getting an election victory. This makes it one of the most powerful quests in the entire game, since not only it improves your electability, but it can also be compensated for, since if you fail on one floor, you can do extra deliveries on the next to compensate. And if you can do enough deliveries correctly before reaching the mayor's village, you'll get a buff, making your packages more durable, you'll get some more money from your deliveries, and best of all, your roller skates will get a slight speed buff. One last thing I almost forgot to mention, the longer status effects trait can be used to enhance the amount of time you have during your big quest. This is because the time limit attached to your big quest is considered a status effect within the game's code. This means, in practice, that having the longer status effects trait means that you'll get more time whenever you complete a delivery during your big quest. All in all, I give the Courier a gotta go fast out of 10. If the thing you care most about in your characters in a video game is how fast they can move, this is the best one Streets of Rogue has to offer, bar none. However, if you care about other things whatsoever, like combat ability, you might want to consider your other options first. But that's all for now though. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you don't want to miss the next video I upload. If there's anything interesting about this character you think I might have missed, feel free to comment it down below. I've been Ian, you have been you, and this has been the Streets of Rogue character guide to the Courier. And stay tuned, the custom character guide is coming up next.